In 2011, a student protest was held against the Dismount Zone that prevents students from biking, skateboarding, rollerblading, or scootering between Palm Walk and U-Haul. The protest was called Dismount This and had over 500 RSVPs. The goal was to provide a platform for students with tight schedules to express their frustrations, arguing that they needed their transportation to make it to class with tight schedules, or that saying the Dismount Zone was creating larger issues by sending these riders into the street with cars. Of course, the Dismount Zone didn't go anywhere. And 12 years later, is it actually making our campus safer?
Hi everybody, my name is Aiden McMahon. I work here at the cycling line. I'm the manager here. If you have tubes that need to be replaced, a chain that needs to be tightened, gears that need to be adjusted, or anything bike related, we can fix it here for you. My opinion on the dismount zones is I don't really see them as valuable as they should be. I've been riding here for 4 years and never have I ever hit anybody. And I've always made sure to take at least what I think is the safest route to be able to maneuver my way through people.
Have you ever been stopped by P-Safe in that area?
I have, actually a couple times. They've told me to get off my bike, stop going through here. One occasion they have threatened to take my bike. Biking is generally I think pretty safe here on campus. There's not too many bumps or anything that you can hit and something can go wrong. But occasionally you'll see a skateboarder who's either new or just trying to do something tricky and they just, hit a rock or something goes wrong and they just go flying off.
Oh yeah, I'm Declan, I'm a sophomore. Second year at Loyola. I love skateboarding. I usually just go slow in the dismount zone, but I don't get off really usually. They just ask me to stop and then I stop, but every now and then they'll take my board and write me up. One time they threatened me for like $100, but nothing ever happened of it, so that's good.
The Dismount Zone covers the majority of walkways on campus, spanning between the Foley Annex and U-Haul, so riders are naturally forced into the street. But is that actually safer?
Everybody knows and hears all the fast cars or everybody driving fast, and people on this campus don't like to wait. And especially if you're in a car, it's hard to see a skateboarder.
Cars don't see me, or like I can tell they're texting on their phone or distracted or whatever.
I personally don't like to longboard in the street. At least for me, like when I'm driving and I'm next to a cyclist, I'm always so afraid I'm gonna hit him.
Because at the end of the day, how hurt can you really get if a skateboarder runs into you versus a car runs into you?
It's interesting that skateboards and bikes are so aggressively enforced. Meanwhile, we have a much faster and heavier problem.
I think that golf carts should be forced to be on the road. It technically is a car. It carries a lot more than just a person. They usually have tools and utility things on there.
If they know how to drive the cart, then yeah, they'll be fine. Just don't be like trying to weave in and out of people, It's just gotta know what you're doing.
Sometimes I'll try to tag on the back of one, but they usually yell at me pretty quick.
It's just, it's not big enough for a golf cart and a skateboard and and people, so.
Palm Walk should be for people who are walking, people who are exerting themselves. And if you're in a car or if you're in a golf cart, you're just sitting behind a wheel, stepping on a pedal, doing what you need to do to get somewhere. And how much of an effort or burden is it to go around and go on the road?
The primary function of the Dismount Zone is to enforce safety on Palm Walk. But if riders just seem to disregard it consistently, is this even stopping accidents from happening?
I have seen this one guy, he was skating, and as a pedestrian, looking at his phone, and that skateboarder said, wham, right into him. He had to jump off, his skateboard went flying, it was crazy.
I've definitely crashed into people and fallen on hills, but nothing too serious. I mean, I've broken my arm and stuff.
One time I fell because I thought I could go over this edge with my wheels, and I just couldn't, so I fell.
Well, one time I was going down a hill and I hit my head and tumbled and everything, but that was I kind of deserved that.
So if skateboarding and biking and scootering and rollerblading are all just so dangerous on pathways and in the street, what's the point in doing it at all?
That was a competition to see who has the most bike-friendly campus. You get set into a ranking, and we've constantly, I think, been top 5 for the past 2 or 3 years. So it's definitely something we give ourselves a pat on the back for. and hopefully something we can keep up this year, but we'll see.
One of my favorite things about this school is the skateboarding culture in general. I always run into friends I know skateboarding, and I always make friends through skateboarding. And I think it's like a really community-based thing. What kind of sucks about a skate club sometimes is that when we host on-campus events, we often tend to get shut down by security. Like a couple of skate club meetings ago, we skated in a parking lot for 10 minutes. P-Safe rolled up with like 4 cars, and they shut us down quick because tricks are banned on campus.
Clearly, biking and skateboarding have held cultural importance here at LMU even through 12 years of the Dismount Zone. So how can we promote transportation safety while also allowing our students to enjoy something that they love?
Genuinely, I think that bike zones and bike lanes, and you don't really have that access here on campus. You're kind of either merging in with the cars or we even bob through people. If LMU took the time to create bike lanes or designated zones specifically for golf carts so that we could function separately from the cars, then I think that would create a better and safer space.
I just use my better judgment. Like, there's a ton of people, I just won't get on, or I'll go really slowly. Like,
getting rid of the dismount zones would allow people to be a little bit more aware, because if that means less bikers are off the street and they're on the sidewalk, or less skateboarders are out of the street and on the sidewalk, I think it'll raise awareness to people who are walking and let them know, like, hey, pay attention even though you're on the sidewalk. Instead of just like getting rid of a dismount zone sign, make a sign that says, hey, be mindful of skateboarders, scooters, and cyclists in this area. Know that there are other people who are coexisting around you doing other things that you need to be mindful and aware of.